Newest confirmed New York Jets fan, great Cowboy quarterback Troy Aikman had a lot of nice things to say about Zach Wilson. Let's talk about it. But before we get into today's video, quick announcement. Monday, 10 p.m. or 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing a live stream previewing week 1. We're going to be talking about what I expect the New York Jets to do and how they can go about winning this game. But more importantly, I will be joined by New York Jets YouTube royalty in Jets Talk 24/7. Ryan from Jets Talk is going to be my co-pilot on that stream. So hop into that, come hang out, come say some cool things, and let's just have a good time. Regular season football is a week away, and I'm excited. Get excited. Let's talk week 1 Ravens football tomorrow, Monday at 10:15. Now let's talk about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was on ESPN, and he was talking about Zach Wilson, and he had a couple of nice things to say. He started off when the topic of Zach Wilson came up saying, "I struggled as much as any rookie quarterback in the history of the game. I like Zach Wilson a lot," Aikman said. "From what I saw of him, I liked him a lot. I expected maybe not to see him struggle as much as he did last year, but I think he's got a chance to be a really good player." He continued on to say, "We don't give these guys much of a grace period anymore. I don't know that that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. I think expectations have changed so much because some of the success we've seen from some of these rookie quarterbacks, not only in the last few years, it goes back to a guy like Big Ben Roethlisberger and what he was able to do early on in his career." So a lot of really good things that a lot of things that we can talk about, and a lot of things to unwind and unpack here from Troy Aikman. First off, I agree with a lot of what he says. Obviously, I am a Zach Wilson believer, as you can see. I got my Zach Wilson jersey right here, and I think that when you've got a guy that's this young and, all of this stuff, the NFL game is so much faster and there's so much more play calls, and our playbook isn't the easiest playbook to understand. We got a lot of motions and things going on and different play calls from the same formation and all of that stuff, that the expectation that a guy's going to come into our system year 1 and take off is a bit naive. Some of the great quarterbacks in football didn't start their careers off hot. They started off really, really bad. Troy Aikman is a great example of that. Peyton Manning is a great example of that. Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years before he, started and became what he is now. There's a lot of examples of quarterbacks taking time to get acclimated to the NFL game. I think Drew Brees was probably another example of that. The Chargers, I think, gave up on Drew Brees just a little too quickly, and look at what Drew Brees turned out to be. So I like what he says there, and the biggest thing that stuck out to me was when he said, "We don't give these guys much of a grace period anymore." And I think that's especially true with fans, specifically Jets fans. We've been so hungry for success with this team, and it's been 10 years since we've seen a semblance of success with this team, and it's been hard to be a Jets fan for the last decade, and there are kids alive that don't know about, a good Jets football team. They just haven't seen it. They haven't seen a playoff Jets team, and luckily for a lot of us, we were around and alive and Jets fans during the Rex Ryan year, so we got to see Darrelle Revis play, and we got to see Nick Mangold, and we got to see that defense really dominate the league with Darrelle Revis there and all the stuff that was going on. But that's been a long time since then, and so I agree with what Aikman said. We got to give Zach a little bit of some breathing room. It's the 3 years rule, and I really, really like this rule. I like to extend that rule to all of the guys that we draft, and so we're drafting you because we believe in you, and giving up on you before your 3 years is, I think, a bit naive. And so I look at Zach, and I think that he has all of the potential in the world, and he has all of the ability in the world, and all he needs to do is put it together. I think he does struggle, obviously, with what I like to call Carson Wentzing it, where he likes to play hero ball a little bit too much, but the kid's young, and he's been arguably the best football player on his team ever since he was a kid. And so when you go into a place where you're not the best football player on your team, like you're not the best football player in the competition that you're playing against, you can't win games on your own. You really do have to rely on your coaches and on your teammates, which I don't think he ever really had to deal with before. At BYU, he was very clearly, I think, quarterback one there all 3 years that he was there. Even at the end of his freshman year, I think everyone saw that he was the best quarterback at BYU. In high school, obviously, he was the best quarterback probably in his whole county or competitive division in high school. So it's really easy to see where a lot of that gets to you. And when you come to the NFL and you get to experience some humble pie, especially when you got to face, all of these like superstar talents on a regular basis. The Buffalo Bills are serious and you got to face them twice a year. The Dolphins have got really solid players on defense that you've got to face, twice a year. Coach Belichick is Coach Belichick, and even though I don't believe in that New England team, he's still Coach Belichick, and he's going to give you a hard time as a rookie quarterback. There's a lot of things that go against you in the NFL, and so I think year two, I expect a big jump out of Zach. I expect him to get to league average, which is what we want him to do, and then year three, be a top 10 quarterback in this league because he has all the potential in the world to be exactly that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree with Troy Aikman and what he said? Do you disagree with Troy Aikman and what he said? Let me know in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.